Nathan, and Tom, everybody else is here. We got a lot of Yaleys here tonight. So were you down in Bridgeport today, cheering on your favorite son? He was down in Bridgeport. I was sort of interested in hearing what the mayor had to say. He says he's welcome to Bridgeport, but none of his policies are working in my town. What's he doing here? For me, it's great to be back, because I started out this campaign just about 45 days ago, right down the street here. And I thought I was going to be talking about the war in Iraq everywhere I went, how we got into this mess, and how we get out. But let me tell you what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Last night we were up in Waterbury in Watertown, Connecticut, and drove by some shelves of manufacturing plants on our way to the small library, talking to the Watertown Town Committee there. And a lot of folks there saying, what happened to all the good-paying jobs? I had a great manufacturing job. I was there for 30 years, and now I'm working at I won't use the name, a big box retail outlet that doesn't quite pay the same, doesn't have the same benefits and the such. And what are we going to do about that? What's our strategy here in Connecticut, and what's our strategy as a nation to protect good-paying jobs, keep the heart of our middle class here? It's so key to what our democracy is. And we spent a little bit of time talking about trade agreements with China. We talked about infrastructure, and we talked about what this country has to do to educate the next generation of workers to make sure that those good-paying jobs stay here. You know, before that, I was over at Sikorsky a week or so ago, before the strike ended, talking to the workers there. They've been there for close to a generation. These guys are in their early mid-50s, most of them. You know what they said? It was health care. They said, we're willing to give back that 38 cents an hour increase the UT has offered us, but I want just the same level of health insurance that I had under the old contract. UT said, no can do. I know what 38 cents an hour is going to cost me, but health care costs, I have no idea where they're going to go over the next decade, so you take that risk, here's your 38 cents. That's what that strike was all about. People just looking for a little dignity and a little security going forward. I spent a lot of time in Bridgeport. I teach a course there on how to start your own business. I started up a company. We're involved in education and telecommunications, and I do a lot of work there. And in this class, we teach in a 100-year-old school, Harding High School. And there you talk to the students and you talk to the parents, and they say, look, preschool has been cut. Head Start has been flatlined. A lot of these are immigrant kids. They're some of the best students you can imagine in this class. And last week, a lot of the college admissions started coming in. And some of them got into some really great schools. But then they apply for the scholarship, and they're immigrant kids. They don't have the green card. They don't have the necessary paperwork. And they say, now what do we do? These are the type of day-to-day things that I hear as I go around the state of Connecticut. Guilford. We were down in Guilford 10 days ago, right over there. You know, Guilford said, what's with this energy bill? Here we had an opportunity, post 9/11, to really get serious about energy conservation, energy independence, global warming. There was a consensus that no longer were going to be held hostage to Middle Eastern oil going forward. And instead, what do we do? Well, Dick Cheney invited in 100 of his favorite lobbyists for the big oil energy folks. They all got behind closed doors. We're not allowed to know who was in that meeting for the decision, and we ended up with a bill that provides $90 billion in tax subsidies for the oil, nuclear, and other lobbies. John McCain you don't talk about him in a case like this, but McCain called it no lobbyists left behind. Leave no lobbyists behind. It was a terrible bill. You know, billions of dollars for ExxonMobil to drill for oil, which, as somebody said, is like subsidizing fish to swim. At $60 a barrel, that's not an energy plan. That's not a plan for energy independence. It's not a plan for conservation, and it does nothing for the environment. This was a bill that was opposed by Chris Dodd, Ted Kennedy, Hillary Clinton, John Sununu. Most of the New England delegation opposed this and opposed it strongly. It was, for some reason, supported by Senator Lieberman. You've got to ask him why. One other thing about this bill that was so terrible, it includes provisions for a floating liquefied natural gas facility in the middle of Long Island Sound. It takes away all state, local jurisdiction over the siting of this facility. You know why? There are 2 LNG facilities being built right now up in Canada. The pipeline is already under construction to bring the LNG down to the New England region. We have time. We have time to work on conservation. We have time to work on regulation and conservation standards and mileage efficiency standards. Remember Jimmy Carter? He was sort of teased when he put on his, well, it looks a little like this, when he put on his cardigan years ago and said, energy conservation is the moral equivalent of war. But you know what happened over the course of the next 7 or 8 years? We had 20% efficiency savings. Cars went further, insulation in our factories, insulation in our homes. We used a lot less fuel, fossil fuel burning oil, and that made a significant difference. We've taken our eye off the ball over the last 15 years, but it just gives you an idea of what a difference good policies can make. And right now, I just don't think this government of ours is interested in good government. It's a government written by the lobbyists. Laws are written by the lobbyists, written by the special interests, and the issues are too big for us to let ourselves get distracted there.